obviously, I'm Mike Davidson, I'm the head boys track coach at Ben Davis High School. And this session here, I was asked to maybe share some of the things that are components to the success that we've had. Now, as I'm looking around, I got a couple questions for you before I start. And one would be, how many in here are head coaches? Okay. How many assistants? Okay. How many in here are football coaches? Not football coaches. This has been football coach forever. I'm a track coach. I've also been a football guy. I coached football for over 25 years as an assistant. I've been the head track coach at Ben Davis since 1991. And one of the questions you always have coming in, I've been on the opposite side here, listening to somebody speak, and what's the reason why that guy's up there? What does he have to share with me? I just got back from another session because the track clinic's kind of going on with the mega clinic here, and I spent some time talking about our relays. We've had great success, not just as a team, but also in our relays and things. And so we had a chance to share. And coaches' education, coaches' knowledge, to me is paramount. We need to make sure that we do whatever we can, not just to know the X's and O's. That's important. I spent a lot of time talking about how to be able to set up a 4x1 relay, how to take handoffs, how to do all those kind of things. That's the details. But this is where my passion really lies in. What can we do to be, the kind of men and women that represent what it is to be successful, in life, and share that with the kids that we work with. So that's going to be the direction we go here. What I've done is I've actually taken a couple of my presentations I've done in the past and kind of mixed them together because of what this is supposed to be. And if you have any questions while I roll, just let me know. The PowerPoint that I actually have is about 70 slides. Not every one I'm going to stay on. That's what I have in the paper to you. I'm not going to read that stuff. It's hard to read a little bit. I thought it would come out in the copy machine and the black on the track there was dark. But there's a lot of good information I want to share with you. I try to print a lot of that out so you can see that. And I'm just going to hit, up here. I'm going to hit some of that as we go. So let's get started. Let's roll. And we'll talk about different things. A successful program, you're trying to, how many are relatively new head coaches? Okay? And to me, that's, I can still remember, think back to an opportunity that I had to take over a program. And I will tell you, what is it that I need to be seeking? What is it? I want to be successful. I want to do things well. I want to be there for the kids. What do I have to do? So the number one thing is you just got to steal as much as you can in terms of from all other programs. What I was fortunate to be able to have is an involvement with a great football program, Coach Dick Delahan, kind of my mentor. I'm a young guy. I actually came into Ben Davis as the assistant football coach, and I volunteered to coach track. I just had a passion for both, and I just volunteered. And a year later, actually, the head coach is like, I hate all this paperwork. I just love to coach the events. Think you might want to do that? You betcha. A young guy. I have all these ideas. I'm seeing how it's run. I'm not, it's being loyal is important. So it's just to myself. I'm thinking I wouldn't have done it that way. It would be good if we had this. And I'm thinking all these ideas. So I got this whole plan, and the opportunity came up. And so I took the opportunity, and then I had to make it work. Well, what do you use? You start looking at everything. You go into clinics. You talk to people. You see programs. You see things that are being done, and you incorporate those. And so you're going to see a whole bunch of things when it says, your program elements, and I'm going to share a lot of those too also. And then, we do all these things, and as I start putting it together, I go, wow, how do I get all this done sometimes? But you got great people, great assistants, so that help you out with those types of things also. So we're going to talk about coaches and coaching making a difference, and then if you get some time at the end, maybe there's some daily structure to what you do. But that was kind of more specifically towards track anyway. How many track coaches in here? Do you have any track coaches? Okay, good. You're a mix of track coaches. So I can try to share that some. If we get done, you want to stay afterwards, I can share some of that if we have some time. Remember, my strongest feeling is just you are the role model. You don't realize how important it is, but your athletes are watching everything you do, and you're the role model. Your assistants, they're the role model. A lot of times those are guys that kind of have maybe a better rapport because you don't get to work with those guys as much. And it's just critical that, that they're there. So this is the little thing on basic coaching. We're needed. In our society, you guys should realize that. Your job you're doing to be a coach is undeniably the most important thing that's going to be in those kids' lives. I'm not sure what your clientele is, but on that paper there, it talks about the kids growing up today and what they're going through, and it's scary. And sometimes you're the only thing that's a solid foundation in their lives, and you got to take that seriously. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, this is on your paper there, but it goes through and some through a couple of things, but it talks about how many single parents there are, single mothers living below the poverty level, the percentage of those types of things. Going in here, how many teens become alcoholics, how many teen suicides, problem drinkers, kids without fathers, things like that. It's scary. Oh my gosh, I can't believe those facts are real. Yeah, those are real. And that's actually from another coach that gave me some information, and that was years ago. So I'm sure it's changed. That was probably 3 years ago I got those stats. And you know that things continue to change. So this is something that I really am, I want to play this for you. This might take a couple minutes, but whenever I need a boost, I have a chance to watch this clip. Your job is a leader. You're leading the kids. Sometimes you're busy, other things going on. This adult over here maybe kind of has pull and kind of doing some things, and you feel like, yeah, I'll just chill. We'll get by this. It's not a big deal. And then you realize, what is my role? And this clip here, it's a movie clip. It wakes me up every time. It gives me chills at the very end, and I want you to see this. I don't know if you ever see it. It's an older movie, so.
Brings a murky problem into specific relief.
Whose problem are we talking about, Lewis? Yours? You worried about losing your job? Because this poll isn't talking about my presidency. This poll is talking about my life. 264 million people.
264 million people don't give a damn about your life. They give a damn about their own. All right, that's enough. Mr. President, you've raised a daughter. Almost entirely on your own. And she's terrific. So what does it say to you that in the past 7 weeks, 59% of this country has begun to question your family values?
The president doesn't answer to you, Lewis.
Oh, yes, he does, AJ. I'm a citizen. This is my president. And in this country, it is not only permissible to question our leaders, it's our responsibility. But you already know that, don't you, Mr. President? Because you have a deeper love of this country than any man I've ever known. And I want to know what it says to you that in the past 7 weeks, 59% of Americans have begun to question your patriotism.
Look, if people want to listen to
They don't have a choice. Bob Rumson is the only one doing the talking. People want leadership, Mr. President. In the absence of genuine leadership, they'll listen to anyone who steps up to the microphone. They want leadership. They're so thirsty for it, they'll crawl through the desert toward a mirage, and when they discover there's no water, they'll drink the sand.
Lewis, we have had presidents who were beloved, who couldn't find a coherent sentence with 2 hands and a flashlight. People don't drink the sand because they're thirsty. They drink the sand because they don't know the difference.
Now, you might not follow totally, but the deal was the president had opposition to his election time. And his opposition was talking a bunch of smack about him, and he wasn't saying a word. And that's what he's talking about. And the bottom line, when I watch that, I just think, how many times you maybe sit by and you really need to be the leader and step up and take care of business, but maybe just you're not comfortable with it, you don't fit, and then you realize, you watch it and say, you know what? Your kids, they need you to be the man or the woman, the one in charge, the one taking care of business. They need you to step up, because a lot of times there's not a whole lot of advocates for those kids or for your program. The truth is, I got football coaches in here, and football and basketball, those are the dominant programs in any school. If I'm a volleyball coach, a softball coach, a track coach, those programs, they don't have that feel. But they could. How do you approach that? You have to make sure that you are that leader for those kids. Those kids, whatever the sport is, they're dedicating themselves to be a part of your program. What are you doing? You got to evaluate that. You got to think. You know, they're putting a lot of time and their heart into some things. You got to make sure that you give them everything you got. Okay? You be the difference in their lives. Understand that athletics is the most visible part of the student's educational experience. How many times have you seen 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 people come in and watch a kid take a test? That haven't, does it? I teach computer science. Got an email, one of my colleagues at another school, Westfield. She had an AP student, this is amazing, in computer science scored a perfect on the AP computer science test. Oh my God. I don't know if I can do that. I'm pretty good with computers. Yeah. Perfect. Nobody knows it, except email to some teachers that teach AP computer science. But kid out there on the football field, kid drains that three-pointer, kid wins that big race, kid hits that home run, right? They're out there, people are watching. And so understand how important your job is, because that's so important to that kid. He knows he's being watched. To be successful, surround yourself with successful people. My dad said that when I remember I was probably about 12 years old. Kind of good advice. And I tell my kids that too. A whole lot of kids think that well, I'm a good kid. But you hang with these thugs over here. Yeah, I'm going to bring them up and make it better. It doesn't happen that way. And let them know that. About 1% of the time, a good guy might bring some bad guys up, but most of the time it's going to just be the opposite. So you know what? Find the right people to be around. Make sure your program has those right people in it. If you be a part of my program, it's going to be a good thing for you. Here's the thing that I realized early on. What influence are the kids getting? Think about this. TV is just raunchy anymore. Line keeps on moving back further and further and further, right? And I'll be the first one to say, you know, I'll watch a show. I mean, what's one of the worst ones in terms of crossing the line? 2.5 Men. You ever watch that? They cross the line a few times on their humor every day. Okay? I just think, I never would have seen anything like this. They wouldn't have said that word on TV when I was growing up. But the kids are living with that. You know, that's just norm, right? How about, I don't know what other shows I never watch shows like the Jerry Springer show. Is that still on anymore? I just know that I just cringe when stuff like that happens, because here are kids watching people jump up, fight, scream at each other, and be idiots, and the crowd's cheering. And if you're influential, you're being influenced, you're thinking, oh, that's how I'm supposed to behave. That's kind of cool. People love that. Somebody's got to teach them, no, that's just stupidity. Don't do that. But think about it. Think about the hours spent doing different things. Social media, out of control. Okay, it is. And how many kids, and part of this later on I talk about, but you got to teach your kids how to be able to survive with social media. We just had a conversation about, I took some kids on a college visit, and the coach was telling me how they dropped 3 recruits because of their social footprint. You know, I mean, you know, it's like, guys, you don't get it, but that's coming. They see everybody else do it, so it's cool, right? The influence, internet. Oh my gosh, there's no limits on that anymore. The music they listen to, sports stars. I'm trying to remember who it was. I asked somebody, but you guys can tell me. Somebody can know. Which was a basketball player? I think it's not my role, my job to be a role model. Barkley? Yeah. Okay. You know, it is though. I mean, you're gonna be a role model, whether it's a good one or a bad one, doesn't matter. You're a role model, right? And so, you know, the sports stars, there's some good ones, but there's some guys that do some pretty stupid things. You know, you got kids want to be fathers. You know, is that what they're looking for? That's how I'm supposed to live my life. That's how it was done with me, so I guess I do it that way. The peers. Oh my gosh, some of the peers aren't very good people to follow. But sometimes that's all they have, unless they got you and a program and things that, you know, and you're teaching things, not just, you know, if you just throw a ball out and say play, you know, but if you sit here and say, not only are we going to have a sports team, but we're going to make sure that in a sports team we're going to teach you about character, we're going to teach you about living life right, going to teach you how to be a successful person, a husband and wife, friend, and all those types of things. These are part of our job. You know, we are no longer just coaching sports. Like I said before, we're coaching the kids, not the sport. Your role, your influence is unbelievable. Okay, be positive. They're always watching you. Being passionate and dedicated to what you do, critical, trustworthy and honest. Now, here's a couple things that I wanted to hit. I'm just trying to make sure I get through things. I'm going to roll. If you have a question, so just stop me here. But when I put that hypocrisy is not a virtue, you know, how many of us know what to say, but don't live it? I tell our kids do this, but then, you know, I'm going to do my own thing. It's a tough life if you really choose to be a coach. And very few, I mean, I think if you look at the group, very few are really willing to live the way that you want your kids to behave. But they're watching. And so sometimes I say, you know, if I'm going to be coach, I'm going to be a representative for these kids, I've got to clean my act up, and I've got to make sure that I'm doing things so when they watch me, they know how to behave. It's critical that my wife teaches at our school. She teaches the web design class, basically runs the whole website at our school. It's a huge job. And she's just basically the best assistant coach, though, that I have. She's always going to help anything that I need. She does. It's fantastic. I'm so blessed to be able to have her in my life. Seriously. But the most important thing is that when my kids see me with her, they see how much I love her. They might not see that at home. That make sense? They probably don't. Knowing those stats I saw. But I tell you what, if I can earn their respect and they really think that's the guy I want to kind of be like, I've got a pretty big job. You don't realize they're watching everything you do. You say something stupid or you do something stupid or something disrespectful to somebody, that's not good. So, very important. Now, role modeling is powerful. Image, problem, sabotage our message. If there's a great message and all that, you've been doing a great job, and then you do something stupid. You know, I tell the kids all the time, trust takes 1,000 years to build and 1 second to destroy, and it's the same way with the way you do things. You know, you might be doing things really good, but you can't screw it up because they're watching. This is pretty neat. You affect eternity. How many kids you have on your team? How many kids you working with just this year? Let's just give a random number. Say, in my group, I got 10, I got 20. I'm a head coach, I'm in charge of 100 guys. You know, I got 30 girls on my team. Okay? I understand that for every athlete you remember, I'm an older guy, so I got all these athletes, you guys come through. Yeah, I remember that. You know, a guy called me up, and there are many more that were on your program and in your team that they don't stand out 20 years later, but man, they remember you. There's a whole lot. How many? I'm gonna get some hands on this one. How many have bumped into somebody at the mall, on the street, somewhere, and they know you? Hey, coach, how you doing? And you feel so bad because you don't remember the name. You might recognize the face. Sometimes you don't recognize the face. It happened to me yesterday because I was at ISU, and 2 days ago at ISU, and we're in the Commons getting some food for the guys, and some guy on campus came up to me. Hey, coach, how you doing? You know, I was like, I didn't recognize him at all. I'm thinking maybe he was an opposing team. I'm positive he wasn't one of my guys. But I think it was, but he recognized me because, you know, I mean, we go, you know, big conference, we're going against each other, I'm sure. But you just kind of think, how many people are using what you taught them to teach their kids, or they might even become coaches? And that's really awesome. As a coach, if you 10 years down the line, all of a sudden you got some kids coming back and want to coach for you, you must be doing something right. Does that make sense? You must be. They want to be part of that again. That was special to them. And so, but for all those guys that did that, there's guys out there that you don't remember, and they're sharing your message. Was it a good message? I hope so. What they've learned from you, they're teaching. They are teaching when they have influence. They catch what you do, not what you say. And so, some of the rules that I have, and this is tough. You know, I know that some of us have a difficult time with all of this. All right, but I want to highlight these things. I believe that it's easy to blow up and do those kind of things. It's tough, it's challenging, and it takes self-discipline to use the proper language. In our program, you know, kid custody knows he's got 25 push-ups right there, you know. And sometimes it's like, I'll walk in and they don't think I'm close by, you know, and the kid will say something, you know, and he'll look up, and his buddy's, 25, you know, we just don't behave that way, you know. Say, yep, bad timing, wasn't it? Yeah, he doesn't, because you know that's where it's going to be. And but what that does, it sets them apart a little bit, right? It says, you know what, I'm holding myself to a little higher standard. Everybody else, my buddies talk that way, I'm not doing it. Does that mean that I've got them cleaned up and they don't talk that way when they're buddies and I'm not around? No, they probably just, but it does things for your program. It does things for their expectation of when they're in an environment where you don't talk that way. When you're in a classroom and you're not getting in trouble, because they know there is a right way that should be done. There's a social climate that needs to be talked about. This is a good coaching point. Attack behavior, not people. And we get caught sometimes, you get mad at somebody. No, don't attack the person. Respect the person. You'll gain so much, and your team will just, they'll be with you if you love them. If he does something stupid, attack that behavior. That behavior, that is not how we do things. But don't say, you are, or you. No. Detach the behavior from the person. Allow him to realize he's got an opportunity to fix that. But if you say something like, well, that's you, that means, well, he's locked into being that guy, right? I can't change it now. You put me in this pitch, you pigeonhole me in this thing. I'm a jerk. I'm an idiot. I'm a thief. Whatever it might be. No, attack that behavior. Say, let's get this thing fixed. We're together on that. Acceptance-based performance versus performance-based acceptance. That is, again, just one of those critical things. What that means is this. So many of us are this way. At some time, you've got to fight your fight, but, I'm going to love the guy when he runs that 100 in 10.5. Right? Hey, man, you're the greatest thing in the world. Got his long jump 24 feet, baby, all right. Well, why should I love him for that? I should love him because he's part of our group, and he's part of us, and he's one of us. And that's what this means. This means that, I'm not going to love him because, I'm not going to accept him because he's good. I'm going to accept him because he's with me. Now, when I do that, he becomes good. Does that make sense? Because now he knows you believe in him. What's he feel like if he feels like you love him because of his talent? If he gets hurt, that means he's trapped. Right? You don't care about him anymore. And you don't realize, these are things, they don't think it consciously, it's all subconscious, but they know. That's how you respond and react to the kids. Accept them, and they will perform for you. Positive attitude. How you speak. I try to take any kind of negative term, the word negative, I don't like to say the word negative, not, all those kinds of, get it out of there. The greatest example, and track's a good one to use for this, is state meet, guys lining up, getting ready to go. All right. Guys got a chance to win the 100, can't wait, fired up, come on. Hey, the one thing you gotta do, because you're a pretty fast dude, I think you're gonna win this one, but just don't false start. I just put that in mind, right? It's that positive thinking kind of thing. You don't say that. Just don't false start and you're good, So he goes, one thing, don't false start, say, no. You say, now, how do you correct that? If you're trying to you say, have a great start. Same thing. If that was the point you want to make, say, we're going to have a great start. Put a positive thought in your head. Always what you say, have a positive thought in your head. You don't say, well, if you coach your big team, a team sport, and say, if we don't do this, then we can't win. You just told your team you can't win. Don't do that. Let's talk about the other way. What's it going to take to win? Positive. It's just how you present what you say is a huge part to being successful as a coach. And sometimes it takes a while to kind of get used to saying it because you've been saying things a certain way. Find a way to get any kind of negative thought out and keep it all positive. Sports psychology is different. You come here to learn X's and O's and techniques and things like that, but there's going to be some team that's going to, win a state in football running this offense and this defense, and then 2 games later and, another 5 there, whatever, they're doing something different. There's different ways to do it. There's different ways to take the 4x1 and hand off a baton and do things. There's different ways to, run a motion offense. I mean, whatever you got going on, but between the ears, that's different. Kids believe. Sportsmanship and authority interaction is huge. And we're dealing with that right now a little bit in our school. And, it's tough. And it's tough when things go bad because same thing like when we talk about, being able to, lose trust, you lose an image, and it's hard to get back. So that's why it's so critical we do that. Some of the things that you create in your program, a character education program is awesome. Digital citizenship now is a must. Going head coach now, but even assistant coach, it's a must. You've got to make sure that you have a period of time where you're teaching your kids how to deal with the electronic world that we live in today with all the social media and all that kind of stuff. You've got to teach them. If not, you're screwing up. Oops. A lot of things here. You become a counselor, you're a motivator, you got to help them be passionate. Sometimes a kid just shows up because his buddy's there, but you might allow him and help him find his way to the passion for what you do. You got to be a great organizer, it's just the way it is. I mean, you're organizing a big program. Any program's a big program. You're organizing it, it's got to just work like clockwork. You're a mentor all the time. They're coming to you for everything, and you're a great supporter after they leave. You got to realize that they're going to remember you, and you need to make sure that, you know, nowadays it's so easy with texting and things like that. You know, you got a kid that went off to school, you know, and you got to, you know, going through your text, oh, there's, you know what, let me check on him real quick, boom. Send him a little note. Hey, how you doing? How's college going? You know, be amazed at what that meant to that kid. Man, coach, you know, I hadn't seen him for, you know, since last fall, and he just sent me a little text me checking on me. Pretty special. It's hard to do. We're too busy. I don't have time. Hey, dude. I'm not saying you don't go through and you know, I got to hit everybody. Just hit when you feel it. I'm going to share this with the guys in the room. Ladies, you can kind of flip this around too. But I learned this. I'm not even sure where, but I think it's really important. This is relating to trying to be a good husband. If you think about it, act on it. What I mean by that is, example. One time I was going to meet my wife for that's all right. Going to meet my wife for lunch. I was working at a football camp and had a chance to get out of the practice, go get some lunch, and get back to the next session. And so I was driving down the road, and I was going to meet her at in a restaurant about 20 minutes away, and she was coming down from Indy and to meet at this restaurant for a little lunch. I thought, I'm driving by, and there's this van out there, and roses, like $20, you know. And I drive by, and it's over here on this side. I'm driving by, and I said, oh, wouldn't that be kind of cool if I had roses for this? I mean, there's nothing going on. There's no anniversary or anything like that. But you know, just kind of show up. You know, I'm gone for a couple days, and then I kind of kept driving. Then all of a sudden, I remember what I told myself. This is when I kind of learned. If I think about it, act on it. Nobody knows if I said, oh, that would have been a neat thing to do. I drive and I could have lunch and leave, and she wouldn't know the difference. I would, you know, wouldn't know the difference later on. But it's like, so I went under the interstate, turned around, came back, stopped, bought the roses, went there. Man, you should see her face lit up. What is this? You know, it's like, because I thought it was something kind of cool. If you can think of it, and it's an important thing, if you think it's kind of cool, then don't just dish it off, act on it. And, you know, that's an important thing. Understand how that works. All right, let's keep moving here. This is just some themes. Let's put some of these down. We do these where you have maybe a theme of a week and you teach that. Just maybe a 15-minute thing or 10-minute thing. So this week we're talking about this. Sometimes you have a more complex program, you got more time. Time's always an issue. Or maybe the kids even do something with this each week. They turn something in, or they have little groups. Depends on what you got, how much time you got. But to highlight things that are important to you, that you believe are components to successful people, have a way to teach that stuff. Rules for social media. Not just for the athletes. We got to do the right thing. There's a lot of times that, you know, I see some things that adults are saying, like, are you kidding me? To me, and, you know, some of you might be just the opposite. I am not a Facebook guy. I do have a Ben Davis track Facebook page that I never go to. I made it, so at least I got it. But I do have a Twitter account, because to me, Twitter makes sense if you use it right. Because Twitter is a news outlet. Does that make sense? Twitter allows us to be able to promote what we do, and if what you're doing, you believe in, is important, then you better have a chance to promote that. Does that make sense? You don't use Twitter to say, hey, I'm over at Burger King getting a double cheeseburger. Who cares? Yeah, I get kids all the time. They say stuff like, don't put that on, who cares? Now, if you got something that's important for the world to know about, let's put that out there. But don't put, negativity out there. Again, positive, negative, nothing negative. Make sure that you use it for the right thing. I believe that Twitter has a great tool. Information's out there all the time. You got an opportunity to read about different things. There's positive messages that come on there. People share information on that. Websites that have some cool stuff. There's some coaches' Twitter pages that are awesome and that type of stuff, and I use that for that. I'll tweet things out. I'll see something's positive, send it out. But that's what it's used for. And make sure your coaches understand that too. Say, coach can't make some negative comment about some. How about if they do something about, that kid? I don't think he's kind of a jerk. What? But they'll do it. You don't realize, they're going to want to see it. You got to monitor their use. Now, we kind of do this sometimes. Since I'm not a big guy, I'm a huge computer guy. I teach computer science. I know all about it. I can program stuff. And I made any track guys if you want. This is an awesome 4x1, 4x4 video. It's a disc, 20 bucks. I made this, and it is. I'm going to brag on myself. You might think that it was professionally made. Okay? I'm a computer dude, all right? I can do that stuff. I can video edit. I can do all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you one thing, it takes time. So if I can have an assistant coach say, you know what? Why don't you get on everybody, make sure you got everybody's Facebook page and you get on their Twitter accounts and you just kind of make sure you can kind of keep track of it. If you see something, help me, and I try to have some of the other guys. I got some guys on there, Twitter's not bad, it pops up and stuff, but you got to share that duty because that's too hard. But make sure you're keeping tabs on that. A big part of that. I already talked about using it to promote and communicate. Technology is awesome. I will tell you, and how are we doing on time?
We have about 15 minutes.
Okay, so if I don't get to it at the end, I'm going to say it now. Technology is awesome, and we got to use it. So kind of changing gears here, but huddle. Football coaches can't live without it. I was the guy that had to do all that stuff. Coaches, see, I was the computer guy and all that kind of video guy, all that kind of stuff. And so when huddle came out, it's like, finally. Because people were trying to do stuff like that with, sending digital files instead of taking that tape and, that CD driving across town, whatever. So huddle was awesome. And it actually had good video. Because football coaches, you know how hard it is and how your brain breaks in half when you're trying to watch bad video for hours on end, right? And that's what was happening when you started trying to do digital. At the time it was pixelated, you couldn't see it, was bad, and you just got headaches. Now it's great. But now it's not just for football. We use Huddle extensively. We video everything we do. And now Huddle's even gone and do some pretty cool stuff. And I think they have they're trying to sell their stuff. They should. You should listen to it. I'm a believer. I'm not getting paid anything. I'll tell you though, Huddle, you can't live without it. And then you can even use it for technique stuff. You can use Huddle right now for, if I'm a volleyball coach and I want to video all my girls working on their spikes and stuff like that, video, and then go and break it down. And the cool thing is you can actually take the video, and the video is one aspect of about 100 different categories, and you can basically make cut-ups and all that type of stuff, and then you can, I want all the long jumps over 20 feet, boom, got it. You got to have that data entry guy, though. That's the tough part. That's the unfun part. That's where some assistant coach gets the job to do something like that. Or we use managers, actually. They love to do that. It gives them time to do something like that. So then we also have something just started this year, which I used already, is something called Remind. Anybody use that? That's a new thing our school started. I said, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm going to make a Remind account for me. So all my track athletes, they are part of this Remind, and all I have to do, if I need to, I'll say, hey, snowed like, a foot today, but the superintendent said it's okay for us to practice in the afternoon. Remind. Remember, we still got practice at 3 o'clock. Boom. Everybody knows it, right? They can't say, well, coach, I didn't know. Yeah, you did. Because they got the phone, they know. So it's a way to send something to everybody. It's just a little thing. It's pretty cool. Use the technology that's out there to do that type of thing. We've got, the opportunity to take advantage of things to help our program be successful. And there's a couple other things that, if we get to it, I'll hit, but let's keep on moving here. Talking about a couple things here. Probably run out of time, but it's possible for you to change the way you do things. You can be, work harder than any other program in the school. Football and basketball, they get the attention. We know that. I mean, they're the bigger sports. They will. The crowd comes to the games. There's more people that show up, all that type of stuff. Kids want to be a part of the respective programs in your school. So if you're making sure, it doesn't matter what the program is, it doesn't have to be football or basketball. If it's the respective program, if it's a good thing, it doesn't have to be winning either. Winning helps. But if you're doing things the right way, people want to be a part of that. And then the winning will take care of itself. Okay? Make your program a big deal. Hey, it's a pain in the butt, but I will tell you that you got, especially for the sports that aren't in the limelight, you got to do all the promotion. You know, the newspaper, they're going to put all the big sports in there. During the fall, what's on the news every night on Friday? Friday night, all the results. Right now, you turn on Friday night, Saturday night, what do you got? All the basketball games, right? Springtime, what do you got? Indianapolis 500, right? You know, Pacer basketball, that's about it. So, you got to promote. We do all sorts of things, okay? It does take more for sports, but I will tell you, football, basketball, you got to be careful. Because you can't just think it's going to operate and run itself. You need to promote too. You know, I mean, you can make things get a lot better with that. So I talked about your character. We got a mission statement that's on there. Have a mission statement. That kind of defines what you do. Create one if you don't have one. Your program should have a mission statement. Do you have a vision? Do you know what it's supposed to look like? Can you share that vision with everybody? Okay, this is a good start right here. Okay, so that's on your, you know, I know I'm going to read through it, but I love it. I love the mission statement that we have. No one's bigger than the program. You've got to make it a privilege, not a right, to be a part of the program. When I first started coaching, I was a young guy, I had to bite the bullet. My first year of coaching, 1991. I'm a sprint coach, I take over the program. I got these guys, they're kind of jerks. They're kind of fast. I got one really fast kid I love, he was a senior. Some other guys who got on board, and they were, a couple missed practice, so I actually said, you know, we're not running the county meet. You can't do that, coach. Guess what? They didn't run the county meet. They got on board. So then we went and ran sectional, ran well, 4x1, regional ran well. First year coach, state meet, win by 1/100th of a second, win a state. We had a state championship since like you know, I had like 3 in the whole school when I got there. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Next year, the 3 returning guys, the 3 guys were juniors, the senior went to ISU, Indiana State. The 3 returning guys, by the time I got to the first meet, I'd cut them all. And that was hard. But I wasn't having fun. They were destroying the program before I even got it started. It was my second year in the program. And they wouldn't do what I wanted them to do. You know, cut the practice. They you know, things that, you know, I gave them. I had one kid on contract, he blew that up, and he's done. I set the rules, well defined, boom, 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 at a young age even. And I thought, well, there goes the program, right? No, that's the best thing I ever did. Because you got to understand, it's a privilege. All of a sudden, everybody else got in line. And the 3 best guys on the team you get rid of, everybody knows you're serious. Hard thing to do, but it helped. It helped, and it's tough. It's got to be a privilege to be a part of it. All right. Let's kind of move down here pretty quick. The whole is, you know, is broken in some of the parts. Sometimes you're going to make those tough decisions. You got to recruit your other schools. I'm not sure if you realize that, but everybody's vying for the kids' time. So it takes time, but you got to have programs. You got to have people going in there. You got to talk to kids. We have some pretty cool stuff. Build relationships. We already kind of talked about that right there. You have all the workouts. That was on the one thing. This is just some program stuff. I know I'm going to have to fly through some of this, but this is like, you know, each coach has a responsibility list of what he does, so he knows, be well defined. Helps your program tremendously. You know what to expect, and they know what to expect. You know, you got to share your vision. Be loyal to them, they'll be loyal to you, maybe. But if they're not, you got to get rid of staff evaluation. Have a sheet each year. You talk about the things you want. If they're doing the things you're supposed to do, I think that might be on your sheet too. Get a relationship with your programs. Like, for example, track and football is a great relationship because they help each other out in terms of the talents of the kids and things like that. All those guys, except for this one right here. This is the only guy in the group. He won the state long jump last year, and he doesn't say a word. His headphones on, he's a little introverted, but everybody else, football players. And some of our 4x1s. All these guys, football players that have had great success with state champions and things like that. A lot of times you got to share coaches. That's cool, it's good. If you can do that. Be a leader in your school athletic department. Don't sit in the back at the athletic department meetings and just let somebody on the show, but you be the one to volunteer for things and get involved and do them. That's you know, you want your program to be able to do some stuff, get involved at the top, you know, be influential with that type of thing. In a program, and this goes to some of the stuff, this goes to the program pieces and things like that. You know, I made it so our kids buy a jacket so they can wear it around the school. So that's what they wear when they go to a meet. but that gets the Ben Davis track emblem out there, and people know what Ben Davis track is. You got to find ways to do that. We have T-shirts for all these sorts of things. Everything's got a T-shirt. Bulletin boards announcements. In our showcase, I got a video showing right now of all of our past state champions. It runs all the time for like the next month. You got to get it out there. Do whatever you can. You got to think outside the box. How do people know that we exist? Got to make it happen. I was going to show you that, but that was an old video that doesn't show. Kind of bummer. This takes time. We have a newsletter. Try to make it once a week. Usually once a week, at least once every 2 weeks, and it just highlights what we do. Okay, it's a 4-pager, and I have my assistant coaches write a little article, and I publish it, PDF it, send it out an email. Everybody gets it. It's that easy. PDF, boom. Make a big email list of all the people in your program, all the teachers in the school, administrators, the superintendent, all that, big email. Okay, and they get that, they find out what's going on. Okay, and all that has to be is just a real positive thing of what's going on, all the good stuff. This is the last page we have. There's a mission statement. We have a run for the week. We have something called Awesome Club. Always will effectively sacrifice and maintain excellence. Okay, I created a club of consistent performance each week, and kids want to be, that's the greatest thing. They get a really cool award in the year. Picture plaque of them doing something awesome about this big. You got to be on there 80% of the time. Okay, our football program has something like that. Stole. Great idea. Right? Have something to keep the kids motivated and be consistent and want to be a part of something. So you take something like that and make it happen. Junior high. I got a junior high coach's manual. I have, get a clinic for the junior high coach to get them together. Got to get them on the same page. Tough. Junior high coaches seem to turn over a lot, so you got to keep doing this over and over again because that happens. We have a junior high meet. They come over to our school, so every sport can have the junior highs come over and have a big event that you put on, so you get to see these kids. They see you. We got the coaching manual on the front page of that right there. I have these PDFs on this computer too, if you didn't want to take a look at them at the end here. You got to make sure you make friends with the program. This is huge right here. Some of these are the best people in your school. Talk to them and find out. They're awesome. And, just give them love because they deserve it. Who wants to go clean up your room or clean up your locker room? That's not fun. But they're doing that for you. And they're not getting paid a whole lot. Make a part of your program. Give them T-shirts. Help them be part of it. Okay? They're awesome people, I'm telling you. Get involved with, your staff and, people in the school. Let them be a part of things too. This is specific for track, so I'm not going to get into that, but, to really have a good track program, you got to have at least 6 coaches. And that's not the norms. You better get some volunteers, but you can't really run a track program, even if you don't have that many kids, to really, it's kind of like a football team. Football team, they say you got 2 coaches, what are you going to do? You got all these different guys doing different things, it's hard to do. Because I believe every kid should be being coached all the time. Does that make sense? It's not fair to a kid. He's coming out, busting his tail end for you, for your sport, and for what we're all about, what we're trying to accomplish, and you get out there and you say, go over there, I'll be there in a half an hour. He's wasting his afternoon. He wants somebody to show him and teach him. We had a kid, senior, just moved in. Parent situation. Parents made a deal. This is bad for the kid. Separated parents. He's going to be at this school first semester and with mom second semester, his senior year. I said, man, that's a rough one, All his buddies, he's been down there for a couple of years down at the other school. So anyway, he shows up, they get the transfer done, so he's out, and he's like, when do you guys start? So, well, we're doing conditioning right now, we're already running. So he goes, well, explain what, and then we kind of showed him what we do, and he's like, nobody's ever coached me before. Well, what do we do? High jump? Okay, well, we'll get a chance to, you got a good high jump coach, and he goes, you got a coach that coaches high jump? Yeah. Because, well, they just told me to go over there. He taught himself how to jump. He cleared 6'3" last year. I went back to see it. He was at the regional meet, cleared 6'3". Hey, he's going to be a pretty good jumper. Thing is, I'm watching the kid run. We're doing running and stuff like that, and he's like, he doesn't want to run. Coach, I don't run, I jump, He's an athlete. And he's a really good kid. His grades like A's and B's. He's bumped up, and but it's like, this kid's a good athlete. And nobody's even coached the kid up. It's like, isn't that a shame? I mean, I bet last year had you taught him how to do stuff, he'd probably be, just watching him athletically, he's probably a 6'6" kid, at least just starting off. Hope. Right? We'll see. We'll find out. But anyway, so you got to have, kids got to be coached. You got to find a way to get them coached. Volunteers, got to have quality. You can't have people just there, but got to have people know what they're doing, working hard to do some things. So that's what this is here. Athletes should be coached all the time, and I know that we've got some team sports in here, but track, everyone says, well, track, you have to do no, it's not. It's a team. Keep a team score. You can have a whole lot of fun when you do things together, right? And so we make sure guys understand, you know what? Team is what we're all about. And we make sure that everybody knows what's going on, and we do things together all the time. And you know, we even have things, we have activities sometimes where we mix guys up, and throwers get with distance guys, and sprinters get with jumpers, and distance guys get, you know, all that kind of stuff, and they know each other. The team is critical. That goes without saying. There's a whole lot of things I talk about on how we create that team atmosphere with that. This goes into meet duty, stuff like that. Coach Delahan, again, legendary coach, been there, was one of my best friends there. He said this at one time, I thought it was the neatest thing. He said, it's not what you get for playing, it's what you become because you play. And that means what you become because be a part of your program, how you make things happen. And I think that's pretty special. Okay. A couple quick things here. This is all components. We have a Winter Warriors program, where guys, it's a training program for 3 weeks, pretty intense. Kids kind of are intimidated by it, some, which is good, but they get there, they work really hard. I got these right here. As a matter of fact, I might as well take these. Grab one of those and maybe grab one of those, pass them back. We have a speed clinic that we run. This is the 23rd year for it. It's February 16th, I think. It's, as it says, President's Day. The Sunday, February 14th. The Sunday before President's Day every year. It's a learn by doing. You bring your kids. I got my book for coaches. But what I do is I want my junior high and high school kids there, and I want to teach them. One of the things we do is, they, you know, like right now, you guys are sitting there. Hey, you know, you go to clinic and sit, you're right. I didn't want to do that. Let me get them to do it. I like to do stuff. I'm a mover and a shaker and a doer. Kids don't want to go to a clinic and learn about stuff and just sit there and take notes and learn how to be fast. You know, well, you do this, and you do this, and you do this, and here's the right way, and draw a picture of a stick man and show them how to run. No. We do it. We get them going. We have groups, they come ready to work out, and we teach them, and we run them, and we do flexibility work, we do acceleration work, we have them do we get them loosened up, we time them in a race, I videotape them, they come into my session in the second round, and it's really organized, and they're on a big screen like this, and I'm breaking down the form, you know. Well, that foot only comes up here, I gotta get that toe up, you know, we coach it all up and talk about all the little aspects, and kids get to see themselves, and they learn how to run. It's something we've done for a long time, and it's a component. If I learn how to run when I'm in as a freshman or a sophomore, then I can be a lot better when I'm a junior or senior. If I can even learn when I'm running with an 8th grader, that takes care of a lot of stuff. And all it has to be is small little cues that guys can start to correct when they're younger that make them be faster. So, pretty neat thing that we do. That's actually a little video that shows it, but again, that was one of the old videos that didn't come out. Here's another electronic thing we have. Anybody know what ISSU, you don't know how to say it, SU, something like that. It's an electronic book. You know how you go and you can, on computer, you can kind of flip through a page. That's a free deal. I got our kind of our media guide, and it shows all our records and you know, all our information. It's about a 70-page document that I've built, and have to update. And I put it there, and kids can go and look at it and see. Electronics is cool, isn't it? Just a PDF, you send it, and it does it, and then they can pull the pages over, and it's pretty neat stuff. And so this is our, actually, that goes right to our 2011 one. That was on my old PowerPoint, so I just kept that. I'm not sure if the other one, I can call the media guide 2015 or not, but parents, I will tell you, you know, I'm not the expert on parents because, if you guys can tell me how to make it happen better. I have 150 kids on the team, a room half this size, my parent meeting, and it's half full. Promote it on the calendar. I send tweets out. I got the parents' email addresses. I got their phone numbers. I use something called Call Them All. I make a little message and send it, calls everybody's home, say parent meeting, and they don't come home. So you got about 25% of the parents, not less than that, about 20% of the parents do all the work of all the other parents. Now, I think community has to do with that. Also sport. I know football. I got the same parent that doesn't miss a thing for football, doesn't think track's important. That's tough on my heart, you know. But, poor kid, he used to give everything he can to both, and mom didn't show up. And so it's tough. We had a kid that won the state of 200. Mom didn't show up until the race was over. Didn't get a thing, It's like, how's that kid feel? It's tough. But that's why our job is so important. So, we have a senior night even in track. That became a big deal. And I think it is important. So all sports can have that. We have a leadership council. I talked about the newsletter. We have tons of action pictures and things like that. One of the most important things, I did put this down. Here's what I do say at this meeting. This is good. You need to coach your parents on how to be parents. Head coaches. When you have your parent meeting, just don't tell them about the program. That you tell them, playing time is not to be discussed at any time unless we have a meeting set up. I'll talk to you then. How are you going to do it? You define how you're going to handle the parents and tell them, here's how it's going to be, and let them know. And don't be a jerk about it, but let them know. This is our protocol. So then the parent wants to come up after the game and, how come my kid? And say, what are we talking about? You contact me later. You got my number. But we're not having that conversation here. I mean, if it's well defined, you got a better chance on surviving those bad scenes and things like that. I mean, it's always tough, depending on your environment, what your parents are all about. We have a great website, especially when your wife is in charge. Updated all the time. She does a great job updating everything, but we have locker stickers. Guys get all these awards and put that. This is an awesome thing here. I wish I could share some of these things here, but honesty, maturity, work habits, all this, and this is where they got to self-evaluate. And I got the document here, and I know I'm running out of time, but if you would read through that, it's telling. I mean, the first one, let's do this one here, okay? Toughness. Last one. Has none, quitter. Okay? Next one says front runner. Good only when things are good. When the going gets tough, backs off. Next one. Can handle things tough, but pain sometimes win. Last one, run through the wall for your coach and knock the wall down. You tell every kid, top one, I want you to be able to mark the top one. That's your goal. But you be honest and tell me where you think you're at. It's amazing how honest they are. I mean, you get a kid, sometimes, they get to make a comment too. Sometimes they'll mark like, down here, I'm a front runner, I really am, but I'm going to change and stuff like that. But they know, when things get tough, when things are good, I'm good, man, I'm on it. But I know when things get tough, I don't do it. And you say, okay, let's fix it. Let's we hate it. We can change it. Let's find a way to change it. So we have meetings with our kids and do that type of thing. It's pretty awesome. That's a grades and goal setting sheet on the same thing we did at the beginning of the year. We have Elite Fleet, they have standards. Austin Club, mentioned that before. We keep, records and all that kind of stuff. There's all like top 10 records, school records. I keep a school record of everything. We have a relay meet, unique race you only run once a year at our place. School record. Team breaks, they get a shirt. I mean, it's cool. They want to be a part of that. And they wear that with pride. It doesn't matter whether they set the school record in a 4x1 or whatnot. Okay? I've always talked about video and huddle, things like that. Here's our preseason banquet. Most sports have an all-star. We make sure kids know this. In our sport, track coaches, sometimes kids say, state meet and say, hey, you're awesome. We want you to be part of the all-star team. 1 year I was able to be the head coach of the all-star team. Kids what's that? Gosh, we need to. All the coaches, we got to know. That's a great chance. That kid can get a shot. There's a picture on the wall in the school, big old picture. He's an all-star. Get that to them. So, if your programs and your sports have that, make sure kids can be a part of that. We have a chance to go to national meet to qualify. We take our kids to that. We've had 3 national champions, 4x1, long jump, and pole vault. And this is pretty cool. How many of you run a football? There's a lot. Maybe a summer camp. But we run a summer track camp with our junior high and elementary kids. And I have my athletes, my guys help out, and they're my coaches, and me and another coach does it, and it's a lot of fun, and kids love to be a part of that. Okay? I know I'm kind of out of time, and I've maybe gone over, but I really appreciate your time. I hope I've shared some things that you can say, yeah, I might be able to use that. We do have an email. This is the email address. This is a Google form, and if you just send that, you can put your email address on that, and I have it in a document, a spreadsheet, so I'll just mark it as that. If you want some of those things, I'd send them to you. I really appreciate your attention. I hope I've helped you a little bit, and good luck with your season. Thank you.